Hi, inventors and entrepreneurs. I'm here today to discuss a topic that's often misunderstood. That's provisional applications for patent. They're often talked about a lot of clients use them, but there are a lot of pitfalls that we see when applicants file them on their own. So let's get into it. They're quick, they're inexpensive way to protect your invention, but it's not always what it seems. So one of the main pitfalls is just a false sense of security. Provisional application really only saves the date for you, meaning that ultimate protection of provisional will only be determined once you have a registered patent. So depending upon what you put in that disclosure, it might not all be protected because it's ultimately about what are the claims when you get through the phase of filing provisional, then you file a non-provisional, and the non-provisional is the one that gets reviewed and examined, and that's the one that can ultimately turn into a registered patent and the claims, and it's all about the claims. That's what protects your invention. So you might disclose something thinking you're protected because you had it in your provisional, but that might be something that's outside the scope of your actual claims. So you have to be very careful there. We generally suggest using a non-disclosure agreement. Another issue is just lack of disclosure, not a proper disclosure. A provisional is just like a non-provisional. There are rules as to how the disclosure should be to make sure that it is a proper disclosure with proper enablement, which means that a person of ordinary skill in the art could pick up your application, read it, and would know how to practice your invention. So it's like a step-by-step guide, and you need to fully describe the invention. You can't hold something back thinking you're going to protect it as a secret, because then it might not enable someone to use that. Another issue we see is failing to include or including too many inventors. Now, the inventors are actually determined by what the ultimate claims are. Did they work on those claims? Did they actually invent those claims? So there are ways to change that. It's not as much of an issue as others, but we do see a lot of times where people just put like the CEO in, even though he did nothing on it, or she did nothing on it. And then something that's really key is the drawings. We see a lot of times incomplete or just lackluster drawings. A photo drawing is worth 1,000 words. So the more you have there and walk the reader through how those drawings interact will help you, because you might need to pull things out of those drawings at a later date throughout prosecution. And then just knowing, pitfall number 3 is the provisional is only for a year. It's a 12-month period that you then have to file a non-provisional based off of it. Otherwise, you lose that priority date. So you should, with 10 months, really start figuring out how you're going to move forward, come up with a plan to file the non-provisional. Now, that being said, a well-written provisional application is an investment in your future and can be valuable if done right. So what do we normally suggest is, when is it a good time to file a provisional application? If you're going to be disclosing it in order to conduct further research, figure out how to manufacture this, to work with maybe a manufacturing product designer, you might want to file before that. Another time where we see a lot is where clients are about to go to a meeting with a large client, go to a trade show, and they're going to show the product off, but we don't have time to file the non-provisional. Or they're about to launch their website, launch a Kickstarter campaign. Those are good times to file before you do any of those. So this way, you have a protection in place that we can later on go through our usual process before filing a non-provisional to get it filed. So provisionals, as I said, they can have a lot of pitfalls. We see a lot of mistakes with them, but they can also add a lot of value if they're done right. So Jason Rosenblum here, jhrlegal.com. If you like these, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.